Good morning, and welcome to episode 198 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. Russia and the Ukraine are in talks to limit energy plant strikes as winter approaches. This has renewed hopes that we may see a ceasefire at some point between these two nations. With Israel's measured response on Iran due to Iran's strikes on Israel, hopes are renewed that the Mideast crisis escalation can be avoided going forward. Here at home, consumer confidence is rising, largely as a result of interest rate cuts by the Fed. The jobs numbers are due out Friday, and a lot of people will be looking at those numbers right before Tuesday's general election, although early voting is already well underway. And the FOMC will meet next week on Tuesday and Thursday to look at potential further interest rate cuts. Let's take a look at the numbers and see how they're impacting precious metals prices. Gold this past week is up 1.1%. It stands at $2,783.30 an ounce this morning. It was $2,752.60 last week. Silver is down 1.1% to $34.27. It was $34.65 last week. Platinum is unchanged at $1,042 an ounce. And palladium is up 9.9% to $1,204 per ounce. It was $1,096 an ounce last week. And a lot of this movement in palladium is due to the thoughts that there may be some potential Russian sanctions on palladium going forward. With gold outperforming silver, it takes more ounces of silver to buy an ounce of gold right now. So the gold-silver ratio stands at 81.22. It was 79.44 last week. And the US dollar has slightly weakened. It's at 104.16 on the index today. Last week it was 104.41. The World Gold Council has come out with its third quarter statistics, and just a quick snapshot suggests that central bank purchases have slowed slightly. Coin and bar demand has also slowed, but that has been replaced and then some by the inflows to Western ETFs, and this suggests that the West is finally waking up to the purchasing of gold, not the selling of gold in this rally, and that has raised expectations for an extended rally in gold and much higher prices going forward. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the election, which will be held the day before when we have our webinar next week, Wednesday. That's November 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be the day after the election. I am not sure that anything will be decided, but we will talk about that. We'll talk about gold, and we'll talk about your portfolios next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m., November 6th, with Dan Denning. That's who Adrian Day and I will welcome as our guest. It will be a treat. You need to join us. As always, we want you to go ahead and like us on YouTube. Go ahead and send us your comments and questions. We can get them on the air. Go ahead and subscribe to our social media platforms. Take our twice weekly Always Something Interesting alerts and our once monthly information line newsletter. But in the end, don't you ever forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.